What is going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of 10 Minutes After Touchdown, our Jets recap show in which we react to the latest Jets home game. I am, of course, Michael Leegan, your New York Jets beat reporter for WFUV Sports, and we have an interesting game to react to this week, week 17 of the NFL season. Only one more week to go in the regular season, only only one more week to go for the Jets, who of course are not making the playoffs this year. And the Jets fell to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 28-24 in what was their home finale of the 2021 season. And I say this game was interesting because, look, I personally don't believe in moral victories, much like what Coach Sal said after the game.
I don't believe in moral victories, Connor. You win and you lose.
And this is a game that Jets lost in soul-crushing fashion, I might add. Tom Brady marching down the field, final 2 minutes, last seconds, throwing a touchdown, backbreaking, just brutal. But, if you're a Jets fan, I don't know how you watch this game and I just aren't encouraged by some of the things you saw. We'll get to the 4th and 2 play in a bit. If you watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. But, that play aside, Zach Wilson had arguably his best game, definitely his most complete game through 4 quarters. He was fantastic in this game. Braxton Berrios balled out, a couple touchdowns for him. He's showing why he needs to be extended and why you can't let him leave in free agency. A nice interception by the young rookie corner, Brandon Eccles. Another good day for the young safety, Jason Pinnock, who's converted from corner, drafted this year. He's been great overall. There was a lot of great play highlighted by Zach Wilson from these young guys on Sunday. And so, look, I don't believe in moral victories, but bottom line, you saw so much development from these young players, and especially, like I said, Zach Wilson, that it's really hard not to have a lot of positives coming out of this game. And obviously you wanted to win. Obviously, as a Jet fan, you wanted to stick it to Brady one more time. But that's what makes breaking this game down very interesting, is this kind of conflicting nature of it all. But you know what? Let's get into some of the specific game action right now. So this game would start off with the Jets winning the coin toss. They would elect to receive, and on their first drive of the day against one of the better defenses in the league, the Jets would march right down the field and would score on a nifty trick play. The Jets faked the snap to Zach Wilson. Michael Carter took the direct snap. It was almost like a Philly special kind of play. Excuse me. And then Michael Carter pitched the ball to Braxton Berrios, who, in lieu of throwing it to Wilson, he ended up running it in for a touchdown. The Jets' opening drive was also highlighted by a 55-yard run, not a touchdown, but a very long gap play by Michael Carter to set up the Jets in the red zone. So, right off the bat, with 12 minutes remaining in the first quarter, New York was up 7-0 following a successful PAT, and just a lot of positives to start this game for the Jets. Of course, Tampa Bay would get the ball and they would score on their first drive. Tom Brady does what he always does against the Jets. He marched right down the field, found Mike Evans in the end zone, and we would be tied at 7 with 5:43 to go in the first quarter. Well, not to be outdone by Tom Brady. Like I said, Zach Wilson had a great day, and things just heated up more for him on the second drive of the day. Zach would lead another touchdown drive on the Jets' second possession of the afternoon. Zach would make a couple of nice throws on the drive, especially one to Jeff Smith and also one to tight end Kenny Yeboah. Also, you hear those names, Smith and Yeboah, kind of tells you the talent that Zach had to work with on Sunday. So, despite the fact he did not have his top 2 wide receivers, he would lose his top running back in Michael Carter in this game. I'll get to that in a second. Despite the fact he had no Tevin Coleman, he had no Ryan Griffin, he had no Tyler Croft. The fact that he had an amazing day, the fact that the Jets had a very solid day, despite the fact they're missing so many guys, it's really a testament, I think, to Zach and to the coaching staff as well. But let's continue on here. So on their second series of the day, the Jets would cap off their drive with a touchdown pass from Zach Wilson to Braxton Berrios, a short little out route. Berrios would tiptoe down the sideline, leap for the pylon. The Jets would end up going up 14-7, and that would be our score at the start of the second quarter. So right at the bat, these first couple of drives for the Jets, some great offensive firepower, but unfortunately, on the second possession of the afternoon, New York lost, as I mentioned, Michael Carter. He had a concussion, and George Fant also left the game with a knee injury. Neither of them would return in this game. Their statuses for the rest of the season, obviously it's just one more week, but regardless, their status for the rest of the season, aka next week, is up in the air. And it goes without saying that their absences really hurt the Jets in this game going forward. So on their second possession of the day, Tampa Bay managed to put up a field goal, cutting into the Jets' lead, making it a 14-10 game with a little under 11 minutes to go in the first half. Then both teams would proceed to trade punts, and then right before halftime, the Bucs appeared to be driving, but Brady would be picked off, as I mentioned, by rookie corner Brandon Eccles, his second interception of the season. Another nice young developing corner for the Jets to go alongside Michael Carter and Bryce Hall. And following that INT in the final seconds of the half, Eddie Pinheiro would hit a 51-yard field goal for the Jets to give them a 17-10 lead at halftime, and that would be our halftime score, as I just mentioned. So the second half would begin with actually a lackluster offensive series for Tampa Bay, and a punt. And then on their first possession of the second half, another touchdown for the Jets. New York would march down the field, and a Ty Johnson run from the 1-yard line would extend New York's lead. They would go up 24-10 with 6:56 to go in the third quarter. The Bucs, however, would answer, of course, before the third quarter was over. And following a Tom Brady touchdown pass to Cameron Brate, the Jets' lead was cut to 24-17 by the start of the fourth quarter. It was also during this final offense possession of the third for Tampa Bay that we had the bizarre exit of wide receiver Antonio Brown. Of course, if you were watching this game or you were on Twitter, or I don't know how you didn't see it, it was on the news. Antonio Brown, just like I said, a bizarre scene in the middle of the game, took off his shoulder pads, threw his shirt into the stand, threw his gloves into the stands, ran across the field while game action was still going on at the opposite end, and exited the stadium. Just absolutely bizarre. After the game, Bruce Arians said that, Antonio's time with the Bucs is over. It seems that his career in the NFL is probably over, given the fact that this is his fourth chance and he has a lot of off the field issues that are quite serious. So that remains to be seen what his future is. But the bottom line was a bizarre incident at MetLife Stadium. But let's get back to the on the field action, at least the football related action. Both teams would trade punts to start the fourth quarter, and then Tampa would manage to actually put up a field goal on the board. So New York's lead was cut to 24-20 with 7:36 to go in the game. So New York, their lead was continually cut as the game went along. They needed to muster up some offense, and they finally did. They put together a drive in the final minutes of the fourth. They got the ball inside the red zone, and on a 4th and 2 inside the 10-yard line, rather than take the field goal to go up 7, Robert Saleh, with his 4-11 team at the time, he decides to go for it, and the Jets run a quarterback sneak on 4th and 2. Does not work at all. Totally stuffed. Zach doesn't gain any yardage. Just an awful play call, and we'll get more to that in a little bit. But what would happen essentially is Tom Brady gets the ball back. He has 2 minutes and a timeout, and I think any Jet fan who's watched Tom Brady torment the Jets over the years knows, or knew, or at least felt in their gut what was about to happen. And of course, what happened was Brady would march down the field, and he marched the Bucs right down into the end zone, found Cyrus Grayson wide open in the end zone in the final seconds for a touchdown. A successful 2-point conversion would put the Bucs up 28-24 with 15 seconds to go. And that would be all she wrote in this game. Just a heartbreaking finish for the Jets, and it just, you as a Jet fan or as someone who's interested in this team, it was such a positive game to that point, going toe to toe with the Super Bowl champ, Zach Wilson, balling out, making some tremendous throws in this game. And then just to lose in the final seconds like that, when it was just so winnable, just absolutely brutal. But hey, look, the Jets couldn't hold on. It was entertaining at least, but like I said on the top, this was an interesting game, and it was interesting for a variety of reasons. But let's get to some stats real quick. Zach Wilson had a stellar day, 19 of 33, 234 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions. That makes it 4 straight games for Zach without an INT. That is a Jets rookie record in terms of consecutive games without an interception. Braxton Berrios, like I said, also had a great day, 8 catches for 65 yards, a touchdown. He had a rushing touchdown as well. The clear best receiver on the field for the Jets on Sunday. Keelan Cole, Jeff Smith both had some killer drops at points. So definitely a need to extend Braxton Berrios for a variety of reasons. Besides the fact that he's just a great returner, but he should be back next year. But finally, you know what? Let's address the 4th and 2 situation real quick. There was a lot of speculation after the game about whether that quarterback sneak at the end of the fourth quarter was a design play call or whether Zach audibled at the line to that call. And after the game, Coach Saleh and Wilson both said it was an option play, and that, if Zach got to the line If he got one look, he was supposed to hand it off to Berrios on the end around on the jet sweep. And if he got another look, he was supposed to take the quarterback sneak up the middle in the A gap. Saleh in particular put blame on the coaching staff, saying they did a poor job communicating the play to Zach, and said they did not properly communicate to Wilson that they wanted the ball to be given to Berrios regardless, that, even though they called the option, there really was no option.
It was reversed to Berrios. Quarterback has an option based on the look that he has to sneak the ball. In that situation, we wanted the ball handed off to Berrios, but we did a very poor job as a coaching staff communicating that in the huddle. And Zach executed the playbook as it's designed. And unfortunately, if you look at the copy or the TV copy again, Braxton probably has a first down and the game's over. But that's poor job on our part for lack of communication.
Some people in the media after the game took shots at Zach, saying he was selfish to do the quarterback sneak, saying that he was looking for the glory, et cetera, et cetera. Frankly, that's absurd. I think that's just patently offensive. You see the way that his teammates were hyping him up on touchdowns, and they help him up on social media. And Zach's been nothing but professional on and off the field. I haven't seen anything but selfish play from him. So any take like that, in my opinion, is just absurd. I think, oftentimes the best answer is the simplest one, and the correct answer is the simplest one. And in that case is what Saleh's saying. It seems to make the most sense.
Yeah, we got to be better as a coaching staff in terms of communication and making sure that everything we want is exactly the way it needs to be done. And that's a first down to Berrios, and we're talking about something completely different right now.
They gave a play call. Should Zach have maybe kind of realized that, hey, I have an option, but really this one option doesn't work? I don't know. If he was getting the look, maybe that's why he decided to run it. I don't really know. But look, in my opinion, it's one thing to get hung up on that 4th and 2 call. I think most Jet fans, anyone who really watched this game, what they should be taking out in regards to Zach Wilson is just the great day that he had and the continued improvement that he's had since coming back from that PCL injury. So, overall, and, this is going to be our final edition for the year of 10 minutes after touchdown. Unfortunately, I don't get to go to Buffalo to cover the Jets. So this is the last game I will be covering this year. It's been an absolute thrill and absolute pleasure covering this team, providing this segment for you guys. So thank you so much to the Jets, to everyone at MetLife Stadium, for anyone who's followed my tweets or watched these video segments. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've been able to live out a dream doing this. This has been really great. So thank you very much. I don't know what the future for this segment holds. I hope it continues next year with WFUV's next Jets beat reporter. But look, as I kind of wrap up the final episode of this show and wrap up the season for the Jets, even though there's one more game to go against Buffalo, and I'll be happily watching that game from home, and I'll be interested to see what happens. Again, let's see some more improvement from Zach. But this is really the last thing I want to say. This has been a tough year for Jet fans. It's been a tough decade. The Jets last made the playoffs in the 2010 season, and we are now entering 2022, and there are still no playoffs for the Jets, at least not for this current season. So I think if you're a Jet fan, the one thing you should take out of this year is you've seen a lot of improvement, especially with the young players, whether it's Zach Wilson especially, but look at the other guys. Michael Carter, the running back, Michael Carter, the second, the corner, Elijah Moore, Bryce Hall, Brandon Eccles. I mean, you just go down the line. They've had a lot of good, solid young players, and there's a lot of reason to have hope for this New York Jets team. But that is going to do it for us on this edition of 10 Minutes After Touchdown. It has been an absolute pleasure hosting this show this year. Like I said, thank you so much for all those who have watched and enjoyed the programming, enjoyed the content. We appreciate you. Let's hope there is a brighter and better 2022 for the New York Jets. Thank you so much. 10 Minutes After Touchdown is a production of WFUV Sports.